Hello there. How are you today? I wanted to share this scam that I almost fell for. It's a job opportunity, which, for me are very compelling because I need a job. I've been sick, so I've been kind of putting off looking for work because, it's kind of hard to do interviewing and stuff, or driving to an interview, much less, when you're not feeling well. So I've been holding off for a while. And I've also been focusing on some projects that I have going on right now. I got this message from Richard Galli, who is the director of the FGA Center at the Scholastic Services Center in Thousand Islands, this is in Quebec, in Du Montaigne, or Quebec, the French say. And he said, "Hi, Glenn. I'm reaching out to see if you'd be interested in a job opportunity. Please let me know if you are available to discuss. Thanks, Richard Galli." Now, he wasn't my contact at the point, but I thought, okay, what would you please tell me about this job opportunity? There's a position of an office manager. Are interested? Well, since he's a French speaker, or French-speaking Canada, Quebec, where they aren't required to actually learn English, I thought, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and roll with this and see what happens. But it sounds like it could be a scam. He didn't give me specifics about the job. And I said, I'm interested, but I don't speak French and I'm not near Quebec. How would I do this for you? Sorry. Apologies. So, I'd hoped that this guy would just immediately write back to me and say to me, "Oh, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter that you're not French speaking. It doesn't matter that you're not in Quebec. And maybe give me a verbose response." But all he said was, "You can email your resume to my hiring manager at jbrinkus33@gmail.com." So then later he wrote on that the job location is in New York and there is a remote option. I was like, interesting. Office manager, remote option. Okay, let's see where this goes. But it was suspicious to me, especially because he was telling me to go off of LinkedIn, which is a common tactic of hackers to get you off of a reputable platform and get you into a communication mode that is relatively unprotected, like Gmail. Gmail is a very popular platform that's used by hackers and phishers to distribute scams. So I thought, you've got my resume already. You've just seen the whole darn thing for the last 20 plus years that's listed on my LinkedIn account. So why are you asking me to send my resume to your hiring manager off of LinkedIn? You should be linking him into the conversation so that he can pursue this with me. Look at the very complete information I have on LinkedIn instead of having me send a resume. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And why was he so interested in me? All right. So, I decided to proceed, and I ended up sending an email to the Jay Brinkus account, which I'll show you later. And I said I can certainly consider the remote option. Moving to New York is not something I can do, as my kids need stability. My mom is in a nursing home here. May I ask what it is that caused you to consider me? And I thought, that's a reasonable question. I mean, why me? I mean, where can I see more information about the job to make sure I'm qualified? There should have been a listing on LinkedIn. Office managers are responsible for keeping the information, blah, 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 blah. So there's a bit of vague information. That sounds to me like an assistant would be doing, actually. And so, I was like, okay, yeah, I already saw the full office manager description, which I will show you here in a moment. But at least he bothered to give me some information. This is interesting because it's well written. Unlike some of the previous communications from this person, in which it's not entirely grammatically correct, this is spot on. So, how inconsistent that simple sentences are a problem and complex ones are not. So he asked if I'd emailed the hiring manager and he'd responded. I said, yes, thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Good luck. Sorry, yeah, about the throat clearing. Sucks to be sick, right? Okay, so this all seemed suspicious to me, but I decided I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to see what's going to happen, and if it's a scam, it's going to become evident unless these guys are really really slick. And so far, it's not often that the really really slick fishers, they usually skip things that they should do that set off red flags for you. So I sent this message. Mr. Galli asked me to contact you about this position. Please share with me the job description, including tasks and requirements, so that I can make sure I'm suitably qualified for this position. And I don't know his name because Mr. Galli never gave me his name, which is suspicious in a major way. If you're going to introduce somebody to somebody else, you should be actually providing the contact name, not just their email address. Oh, it's John Brankus Jr. Okay. And here's the office manager job description. I could have searched for this on the internet and tried to find a match, but this is something that would be quite hard to do since there are millions and millions of office manager job descriptions out there, including templates for them. This could be a template, which would lead me nowhere. It could be in French, since this is a French a French Canada-based company, right? So to me, it seemed like, gosh, yeah. So searching would not be a good idea for it. I did search for Mr. Galli, trying to find more information, and I came up with a bunch of employees of the company that he works for. But so that was a plus, that it wasn't just one person in the company. But there are scammers who will go out of their way to make multiple accounts in order to trick people. But a lot of them, they're just trying to get things done as quickly and easily as possible. But so the chances are it's not a scam if you can find a company that has a lot of employees listed. I mean, that doesn't mean it's not a scam. It just reduces the odds that it's a scam somewhat, unless an account has been hacked. So, I found the office manager requirements to be a bit vague. Also, I was concerned about certain of the requirements. I felt like perhaps I wasn't entirely qualified, and this made me more confused why Mr. Galli had contacted me. I've never done for business coordinating domestic international travel, flight, hotel, and car rentals. I've done that stuff for myself. I got a lot of experience in producing reports and creating presentations and other management level reports. It's not something I've got a lot of experience in either, as you can tell from my videos. And then the office manager requirements, it's repetitive and not really a bunch of separate things. So the first and second one seem to heavily overlap each other. The second and third one seem to overlap each other as well. And well, obviously you have to have computer skills to be an office manager these days. There aren't very many companies that don't want that sort of thing. So hi John, I'm not sure why Mr. Galli expressed an interest in me, but here's my resume. So I included my resume to him, fully suspicious about this, but don't want to write it off and lose a job opportunity. Thanks, I'll take a look. Here are the provided benefits in our company. Wow, look at all that. I don't know what those weird symbols are that are to the right of each benefit, but this company offers a lot, so that's great. I think that if this were a legitimate job offer, you'd be very happy. Most people would be very happy to get benefits like this. But honestly, I just still was confused. Why did he just send me that? And then, it's because he's trying to hook me. It is, and 2 hours after he sent me that, you're qualified based on your resume. And bad grammar and stuff. Proceed to the verification process. Want your front and back of your driver's license, social security number, valid phone number. They already have my phone number because it's on my resume. And I'm certainly not going to give driver's license and state ID and social security at this point because it's too early in the process. And there's no request to do an interview or anything like that. And upon completion of them verifying my ID, I'll get an employment letter in 1 to 2 business days. So, I can see where if I were like somebody really famous or something like that, like after my channels blow up and I become like, one of those top YouTubers, that people will contact me out of the blue and say, "Hey, you're hired. Just come and join us. We're desperate for you." But I'm nobody. Why are they going to be so quick about bringing me on? It's just suspicious. It means either they're extremely amateur or this is a scam, which it is. I was very suspicious at this point. I mean, exceedingly suspicious, and you should be too. So I took a look at the original. I got the IP address. I went to ICANN or .org, which is provides a lookup for IPs, and gives you a little bit of information. You can send an email to network abuse, but they're not going to accept this report because it's not regarding the network. So you have to find a way to report the actual email address. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is because sadly my memory has been kind of messed up by my cold. But you can find a form where you can report a scam account. So, excuse me. So again, this just doesn't seem right. So I decided to take a little bit more action on this. And I'd like to show you what you would need to do, I should say. So first of all, I did some searching for this institution's CFAM and she's the wrong person. She's not part of that. But here's another one for the same account. Now I later discovered that is actually his old account, which he subsequently has deleted it. But I decided, okay, if I can't find information here, I have to go to the next step. And don't worry about what I'm typing. That's because the real Richard Galli has retaken his account from the hacker. So I decided that I needed to get in contact with CSSMI, but in order to do that, well, obviously I've already done that as of what you're seeing here in the video. All right, so what I did is I went to the CSSMI website and I got the telephone number listed there. It's a nice looking website. Looks very people friendly. And that means the Scholastic Services Center in Thousand Islands. So I could have emailed them, but email can be pretty slow sometimes, and some companies are not responsive, as I learned with trying to investigate the iHub Global thing. So I checked on Mint Mobile, my carrier, and it's free to call Canada. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to call Canada. I spoke to Richard, the real Richard, after getting past his non-English speaking secretary, or whoever it was that answered, and confirmed with him that no, he had not offered me a job in New York as office manager remotely or otherwise. And so after talking to him a little bit and confirming that it was a scam, I said, you probably should change your password because they've hacked in. And then he sent a message to me saying, don't send any information. And I did suggest to him that he should probably use this experience as an opportunity to get people to be more aware of how important a strong password is for your account and that you should periodically change your passwords. Now, he seemed to be a very pleasant fellow, as most Canadians, in my experience, are generally pleasant people, not like a lot of Americans that I've experienced with. And so you could, again, take the John Brenkus Jr. email address and report it, but just mark it as phishing should be sufficient. The whole conversation goes out of your inbox. And I did try to report this to the network abuse account, but again, the network abuse account is not actually going to help you because it's not network abuse. in their definition. And this would be something that the fraud team would want to deal with, not the network abuse team would want to deal with. So, excuse me. So I'm just going to send them this little email to see if it'll work, because I can't remember the correct place to report it to. Okay, so hold on while I type this up. Sorry, I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. Maybe I should have learned how to do stenography. Use one of those special typing machines that are used by court clerks, so I can type really fast. Almost done. There we go. All right, so that's again, I already got a response back from them saying, "Hey, we can't help you. Go to this link," which is actually not the right place to report either. I'll show it to you, but it's not going to actually help if you need to report a phishing email address. The Marcus phishing is the best option if you want to report it. So I'm just going to try it anyways, but I know this isn't going to work. And I'm not really sure which one this applies to, which is a clue that this is not the right form, and why the network abuse team told me to go here is beyond me. I'll just put in today's date. And then just cut and paste the information from the email that's faster than typing it all over again. And there's nothing I can add to this, really, except for the IP address. What's sad, though, is that the team that handles the two complaints I filed, neither of them tried to forward the complaint to the correct department. They just bounce it back and say, "Huh, sorry, not our problem." Okay, so that's it for that. Now, if you really want to do something about these criminals, you can go to ic3.gov, which is the FBI's website for reporting online crime. This is especially useful if you happen to have been defrauded financially or physically of property. So you can go here and click on the File a Complaint button. so that and then you have three options here. One for the one that we need is the IC3 Gov. Then if you know about terrorism or threats, you should contact the FBI.gov. However, if it's about missing and exploited children, you should go to the NCMEC and report that there. But we need the IC3.gov website. So you're going to come in here and you can read through all this information yourself. I've already done that. Click accept, and it's going to bring up this form. And I'm hoping that Google refers phishing issues to the FBI for follow-up, but I'm guessing either they don't or the FBI is so swamped by all the reports that they don't follow up on all of them. So this would be a good thing. Even if you can't fill out every single form, this is a good thing to fill out. Even if there's no financial fraud, I mean, I've given my information. Of course, that information is already publicly available. Yet still, this is something that they can follow through on to see, if they can track down the hackers who got into Mr. Galli's account and Mr. Brinkas's account, assuming that Mr. Brinkas's account was indeed hacked. But yeah, I'm not going to bother to fill this out. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a nice day.